Spotlight, based on a true story, is about a group of investigative journalists from the Boston Globe who tried to expose documents to prove that certain priests, like a vast amount of priests, in fact, were guilty of child molestation, but the Catholic Church were trying to cover up and protect these priests.
And everyone else, not just the church. I mean, what was the best line? It's like, you're gonna sue the Catholic Church? Like, no one wants to take them down.
And it's just that thing where the Catholic Church has such power that no one could sort of go against it because they were able to cover up all these stories.
And these priests had such power as well, individually.
Here's a clip.
We got law. This is it. No, this is law covering for one priest. There's another 90 out there. Yeah, and we'll print that story when we get it, but we got to go with this now. No, I'm not going to rush the story, Mike. We don't have a choice, Robbie. If we don't rush to print, somebody else is going to find these letters and butcher this story. Joe Quimby from the Herald was at the freaking courthouse.
Mike.
What? Why are we hesitating? Barron told us to get law. This is law.
Barron told us to get the system. We need the full scope. That's the only thing that will put an end to this.
Then let's take it up to Ben, let him decide.
We'll take it to Ben when I say it's time.
It's time, Robbie. It's time. They knew, and they let it happen. 2 kids. Okay? It could have been you. It could have been me. It could have been any of us. We gotta nail these scumbags. We gotta show people that nobody can get away with this. Not a priest or a cardinal or a freaking pope.
Mark Ruffalo, jeez. Good performance.
That was definitely one of the heights of the movie. It was very interesting and very, very brave of them to actually.
Yeah, do you know what it was? Brave. Because,
I think
I
think that's the very word that sums up the movie.
Brave.
For them to, first of all, find these. I mean, the investigative journalists in the first place are really, I don't know if you could use the word heroes, but they were brave.
Oh yeah, heroes. I mean, they took that all on.
Depending on what scape you might have to use the word loosely, but they were definitely brave to take on such a...
And strong, you know, they stuck by it for... They worked on that story for so long, and I think that is what was really great about the movie as well. It felt really true, like... It wasn't jazzed up. I mean, yeah, it was also not crazy good. Yeah. But it wasn't, there was no frills on it, and I think that's good. And it was the fact that they took the journalist's approach made it a lot less confrontational. Like, I was thinking, oh gosh, this is just going to be so harrowing, and it wasn't.
They were just really going from the perspectives of how the journalists have found out about these stories and what they all really genuinely felt about it from a human standpoint.
And the process of taking on the church, you know?
And what they stood up against, what they stood to lose, what the challenges that they faced. And it really does just take you on a journey through the process. You almost feel like you're investigating with them.
Yeah, definitely.
As they go on until the end of it. So
it was one of those approaches as well where you knew as much as the character. It wasn't like the audience knew more than the characters. You were on that journey with them. And in saying that, like, it wasn't too confrontational and stuff, I found that the most interesting parts were the victim stories, and we didn't really see much of that.
I feel like that's where the movie kind of lacks its strength, because the angle at which they decided to go with it was to go from the point of view of the journalist and to show how they went ahead about to uncover this story. And because of it was that sort of linear, documented, and just very constructive process.
Yeah, factual.
And factual as well. You kind of look at, when you want something to be interesting and sort of hard-hitting, more of the victim stories would have been something that would have hit home harder, because there were little snippets and little moments where they just showed the victims telling their stories to the journalists,
and that's the moments where you're like,
gripped you, God. Like, whoa, and you really got kind of a taste of the full.
And you were also were like, yeah, go get him, you know. Yeah. I'm with you on this, but
because that was only, you know, a snippet of the whole story, you kind of felt like you wanted more of that, as opposed to
it wasn't quite
given,
interesting enough, I think.
But in order for them to really pay homage to the journalists and their work and the process and really tell the story as it is, they had to take this approach. So I kind of understand it in that sense. Yeah, so it's like you couldn't really ask for more in terms of performances, being really bland, and they just kind of had to do what they had to do.
Yeah, and you know what as well, like it was mainly in that one location, you know, that back office in the...
Because in a sense, that's where everything would have taken place.
So visually, you're not like, wow, it's beautiful and cinematic. You're like, okay, they're back in the office, you know, but that's okay.
Open office, lots of papers, lots of documents, lots of books, going through stuff.
Old school phone calls and stuff.
There's only so much you can make that very, very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. You know, and I think if they had different, like less talented actors as well, it would have been quite boring.
It really would have been dull because it was a challenge.
Yeah.
It really was. So definitely credit, especially to Mark Ruffalo. I think he definitely pulled it off.
He was the best, I think. Although I did love Rachel McAdams in it. I thought there was something really honest about her performance. I really liked it.
I've always been a big fan of hers anyway.
Me too.
She was one of the reasons actually where I was like really looking forward to this, because I thought it'd be interesting to see what kind of character she takes on in this. So it was brilliant in that sense. Very good performances.
Not overdone.
Interesting. So not overdone.
Not confronting.
Very, very
too
important.
Confronting. Yeah.
Yeah, not too confronting as well, considering the context of, you know, the topic and taking on the church. So absolutely brilliant film. I'd have to say, creatively, it's not the best. It's not the most
visually interesting.
Yeah. So my verdict, 7 out of 10.
We need to focus on the institution, not the individual priests. Practice and policy. Show me the church manipulated the system so that these guys wouldn't have to face charges. Show me they put those same priests back into parishes time and time again. Show me this was systemic, that it came from the top down.
Sounds like we're going after law.